Well, it's the Kill Team Casuals. We're back. Well, there's two of us. We're sans one member, but to be fair for us, that's pretty standard practice. Nothing really too new with that.
I propose a new catchphrase of the podcast. Kill Team Casuals. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. What do you think?
Like, I'm really on board with that. That's fantastic. So that voice you're hearing then, that, of course, now you've worked out who the missing member is. That one that's here with us is Ben from Battle Brothers Tabletop. Welcome, sir.
It's me coming to you from my desk at the Warpfire Mothership, at my painting schmuck, and I'm ready to talk Kill Team with my good bud Reese from Threes to Wound.
I love it. I mean, I just like to think, yeah, you're just putting the work gear on just for this because that's how downright dirty this podcast gets. We
Oh yeah,
we
dude,
dive
I'm
into the
ready to
deep
get
dark.
down and dirty. I've got my. Whoops! So sorry. Didn't mean to let my golden tickets show. Sorry. I got my work guitar here. I'm ready to go, dude.
You're
Let's
just
rock
in
and
Prop
roll.
Central, man. You're just in Prop Central. I love it. I love that Gold Ticket's got like its own hidden spot behind the guitar that you can accidentally reveal.
While we're here, I shout out to Jimmy Kelly. Jimmy Kelly had this made for me. A friend of the pod, Jimmy Kelly, for our good friend Blor, Gone But Not Forgotten. That's hanging on over here as well. I just got
That's a
all the
ripper.
goods over here. I've
What a
got
gun.
show and tell. This is great audio content. Also got a souped up Nerf gun over here. I've got just boxes on boxes of things sitting over here. I'm just surrounded by Warhammer.
I love it. That's how we all love with the perfect world. That's how we'd all like to be. So that's
Yep.
fantastic. All right. Well, we sort of had a little bit of an interesting update. We were talking last week, jokingly saying Kill Team's dead. What's next? We haven't heard anything for a while. Lo and behold, GW who listens, big fans of the show, were like, we hear you boys. We've got a new something for you to talk about this week.
Yeah,
And
it was
that
so quiet. We were saying, man, Kill Team, it's like dead silent out here on the
uh
Western Front.
Uh,
Yeah,
dead
pretty
silent.
crazy, huh?
So,
All right, I'll go kill myself. It's okay.
in that vein, we've got dead silence to talk about. So, first and foremost, what were your thoughts? I just want to know your initial, like you saw this, it dropped, it was a bit of a surprise. You saw these two teams. How did you feel? Where in the loins, where on the body did it touch you?
Deep in my loins,
Oh,
deep. Pardon me. So I uber hyper excited for this box. Let me tell you, I haven't been playing elites for a little while. I think it's time for me to return to playing elites. But
oh,
both teams in this box, I don't know about you, they're scratching the itch pretty heavy. The itch deep in my loins. Probably should see a doctor about that. But it's scratching
if
the itch
symptoms
for me.
persist.
Yeah, pretty heavily. I don't know about you. I'm not a big Space Wolf guy,
Yeah.
but they just look so rad. Like they just look so good. I think, and then the Tau suits as well, pretty cool. I I'm a big fan. How about you, Reese? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the Tau players out there, they've probably, I think, been calling out for a long time for an upgrade to that stealth suit kit, and it fits so perfectly into Kill Team. Like it's a team custom made for Kill Team, basically.
Yeah,
And they used to back in the earlier editions, there was the stealth suits were part of the game. There was Kill Team you could do. You could bring them way back in the day. So I'm very happy to see them return. And it's obviously a very different. Now we're getting lots of flavors of the Tau Empire. We're getting like the Pathfinders, we've got the Vespids, we've got the
yeah.
Farstalker Kinband, and now we've got the stealth suits. So good time to be a fan of the Tau. Lots of different ways to play the game as well. So I think that's cool. At first, Space Wolves, I was a little bit like, oh, more Space Marines.
Yeah.
More elites.
But then you saw a
But
dog.
then I saw the dog and I was like, who's the goodest boy? Yes, he is. No, but I've always had a big soft spot for the Wolf Scouts. Like I've always loved that the Space Wolves did their scouting companies differently, that it was
Yeah,
not the
same.
rookies, but the grizzled vets were like, send them out to pasture, the loners. And I think it's a really cool aesthetic. And interesting, they're not full scouts, they're more like Phobos. They're halfway in terms of their armaments, or so it would appear anyway.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense too, because like there was always just it never I agree with you. Totally cool idea. Because again, I'm not a big Space Wolf guy, but I love the idea of the loners being the scouts. But it never made sense for them to be wearing like the jumpsuit with knee pads. You know what I mean? So this is
Yes.
just awesome. I'm with you. Full on awesome.
I think it's a smart move that keeps the flavor while keeping it a little bit more probably. You'd think they'd still at least have access to some of the good stuff. Just want to
Yeah.
quickly stop and say g'day to Richard and Jim Crimmins in the chat there. Unfortunately,
Howdy,
usually
y'all.
if you do watch us live on YouTube this week, we aren't on there. We will still put this VOD up there, but we just had a bit of a technical issue. So sorry to all our usual regular YouTubers. We do
Yeah.
love you, and it's our bad. So Brother
And that
Bear
technical
Hobbies is
issue
in there as
is
well.
that the technical issue there is that Russ is technically a moron. That's why we're not live on YouTube right now.
I'm glad you said it. I mean, we were all thinking it. The chat was thinking it, but I'm glad
Yeah.
someone actually said it.
Yeah, I was reading Brother Bear Hobbies. That was his comment. I didn't say that. Brother Bear has said that Russ is technically an idiot, and he's
I did.
you know what? He's pretty close.
I didn't think you'd call
Even
him
if
out.
Broken
So,
Clock is right twice a day, you know what I mean?
but yeah, love having everyone in the chat. And if you're listening on the pod, as always, thank you so much for joining and tuning in. So we've got the article up on the screen here so we can have a little bit of a look through. There's a few little tidbits here and there with the article. I'd say it doesn't give away too much. It does a pretty good job of keeping it under covers, but we'll walk through. We've got the tower models up here. So we've got the Shazvray, which I think the Shazv, that's the leader operative.
Is that a leader? I think so,
Yep.
yeah.
And it looks like, quickly look at the models, looks like there's the two options. I think is it the burst cannon and is it an ion
And like
blaster?
the melta
other
gun.
one? Melta gun
Yeah,
type one?
God only knows, but it's like a Melta style AP2 something. If last edition was any, or this edition's any go off of.
Yeah. So it looks like you've got some options either with the build or some of the specific models do have the heavier version. We've got the infiltrator there. We've got the neutralizer, designator, liberator, a lodestar, great name.
The
And then
Lodestar,
the
baby.
Lodestar, and then two drones, a gun drone and a marker drone. So from some of the promo pics, I saw one of the pics that sort of had it in a little team. It looked like they were sort of showing it off as like 5 models and 2 drones. Is that the loadout we're thinking the team's going to be?
I would assume so. You know, you like I would assume so. Usually when they post a picture like that, usually it's the team comp.
Yeah.
That, you know, like, you know, you get 5 of these and 2 of these or whatever. So I assume so. It makes sense. Like I don't think you could run 4 of them and 6 of them might be too much. You know what I mean? Like I wonder how many wounds do you think they're gonna have? Like I'm sure there'll be like 10 to 14, like Space Marine-ish range, like something like that.
Because it's
Hopefully they
tough.
have a 3-up save, a 3-up or 4-up save, maybe. Who knows?
Well, that's it, because it's going to be, is their thing going to be toughness, or is it going to be a lot like the Vespid operative that we saw who's got the half stealth gear on? That his big thing is
that
it's
would
just
be sick.
it's
Yeah.
distance orientated. You know, like his thing is if they're outside of this, you can't even target them.
What's the range on that guy? Do you know?
Ooh.
Is it like 6 or 8 or something?
I'm definitely going to act like I know while I quietly look it up on my phone. You guys,
Yeah, some
hey,
sort of. I think their durability, pardon me, might come in the form of, you know, John Cena style. You can't see me.
yeah.
But like looking at their, if you're wearing a mech suit, you surely at least have to have a 4-up save, right? Like that.
I can't see it being any less than a 4. 100%.
Yeah,
So
it's
like
gotta be
any
maybe even a
worse than a 4,
3-up.
I should say.
Yeah, it's got to be a 3-up. Surely, I'll say this: if it's not a 3-up, I will be bummed because like you're wearing, they're Space Marines. You know, it's kind of a cool touch, like in that they've changed up the helmet a little bit. What it looks like a Tau dude is wearing his Tau Pathfinder helmet underneath the suit, like
And
it
it
almost
just
looks
kind of
like
clicks
it
in.
closes around it. Yeah, which I
Yeah.
kind of hate and love all at the same time.
Here we go. So the Vespid Shade Strain. So this is what I'm using as my point of reference for rules
Sure.
for these guys. I'm using it as, we'll take real world existing rules. So it's got Ghost Rig. While this operative has a conceal order, your opponent cannot select it as a valid target unless it's within 6 inches of the operative trying to target it.
Dang.
Note that this rule has no effect if the operative isn't selected as a valid target, e.g. if it's a secondary
Blast.
target from Blast. Yep. And then the other one here, they had Camouflage. Whenever an operative is shooting this operative, ignore the piercing weapon rule and all cover saves are retained as critical successes. This rule has no effect
Whoa.
if the operative isn't the valid target, i.e. Blast.
If they have something like that, but gosh, man, that would be insane.
Right? So that's what I'm like. That's a pretty dynamic comp because that makes that operative very handy in the Vesper team. Imagine that's your entire team, and if you know how to play around that,
Yeah.
obviously the going engaged is the big one there that undoes a lot of the said stealth work.
Yeah, which you'll have to do to shoot. Sure.
Yeah. So, because I mean, it doesn't appear there's any particular sniper type operatives that might have a silent weapon, but maybe they could have a
Yeah.
ploy or something that could let them return to shadows or reactivate stealth
Oh
field or
yeah, maybe to go
something.
back to conceal. I do. I bet I have 1 CP to go. Yeah, surely, dude. Surely. This. I bet this sort of looks like. Pardon me. My throat's going crazy.
Too
Might
excited, I get
be
it.
like a mix of like Pathfinders and Phobos. That could be really
Mm,
cool. Because like, surely they won't give them shoot twice. Because that's not really a Tau thing. Like,
yeah.
at the end of the day, they might be wearing these suits, but they're in like they're just regular Tau, losers, and so they probably can't shoot twice. But yeah, flipping back to conceal would be awesome for a ploy.
Hitting on fours, do we reckon, with these guys?
Got to be fours. Tau are just a 4-up. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
just part of their faction identity. I feel like
Especially if
with
it looks
marker
like they've
lights,
got
there's a marker light drone, so maybe there's
that's
some sort
it.
of marker light equipment thing as well. So who knows? Like to give you, balanced or ceaseless or accurate, whatever.
I could definitely see there being something along those lines that yeah, exactly marker drones, and then maybe a faction equipment or a ploy that lets you
Yeah,
double up markers or treat them. Because didn't Pathfinders have something like that, or is that 40k? I'm thinking where it's like you could treat the a target
as
that they're
one higher. Yeah,
one higher. Yeah, so I could see having some ploys like that as well. The Lodestar's an interesting one. I don't know if that's meant to be a mine or like
oh, good
I think
question. Or
it
is
does
that
mention
actually?
it
I think that's
something.
his little thing that he's holding a thing that he's going to deploy it. Right?
Here we go. Yeah, so that does say something. And the
That's a
Lodestar
beacon of
deploys
some sort, isn't it?
stealth enabled homing beacons to coordinate with nearby support.
Hmm.
So, does that mean that potentially these guys aren't all starting on the board? Maybe?
That would be crazy, dude. That would be nuts.
Because then is it like, because reading what that says, it makes me feel like it's like a teleport homer. Liberators demolish
Seems
fortified target.
something like
Lodestars
that.
deploy stealth enabled homing beacons to coordinate with nearby support.
Maybe it extends a range of some ability or improves your, you know, yeah, who knows, dude? I got no clue.
Here we go. Dr. Zero has just said in the chat, in the notes, he drops an aura, is silent, so a bubble of granting silent shooting or allows us to call in allies from the board edge like in 40k. So there
A
you go.
bubble
So
of
maybe,
silent shooting would be absolutely disgusting because
yeah,
tele
okay.
weapons are going to hit hard. Like
Yes, that's it.
their
Well, that's
Gatling
it.
guns probably, Gatling guns looking things probably 4 or 5 damage. You know, maybe P1 or something like that, piercing one.
Yeah, piercing one on
Piercing crits
crits.
one or
Yeah,
something.
piercing crits,
And
yep.
then the other gun's going to be an F off piercing 1 or 2 or some kind of profile. That would be crazy.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, they look fun to paint. I must say that. I'm not always a big tower aesthetic guy, but these guys look like they're a bit of fun to paint too.
I'm a sucker for a mech suit. You know what I mean? I'm just a
Yeah.
sucker for a mech suit at the end of the day.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, okay. And then obviously the leader, he's got a knife, so that should come in handy. Obviously, that's probably like six,
Ooh,
seven
3
damage, I'm
attacks on
assuming.
fives, one,
Close,
two. Yeah.
close combat tower. Yeah, okay. So interesting team composition. So if it is that 5 models like we think it might be, that probably means you're having to like. I wonder if the kit lets you build because don't in 40k aren't stealth suits in teams of 3. So I wonder if you can
Yes.
still build 6, but you just have to drop one per game, maybe.
Or they're just bumping your squad size up to 5.
Good, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it could just be that they're going to change it. I mean, obviously, this kill team is sometimes the way they test or change those
Yeah.
things. They do soft launches sometimes through kill team, don't they?
Or honestly, dude, maybe you're right. Maybe those 2 drones. Maybe no, because this will be the box they sell them as. They'll sell them as the kill
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you
maybe
think,
it's six dudes, 2 drones, and you can play them as 3-man, 1 drone squads or something like that. Or do
yeah,
drones even
maybe.
matter in 40k anymore? I don't even know.
I think they're more like markers, right?
They're tokens, right? Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Dr. Zero helping us out again in the chat. Stealth suits are teams of 3 or 6. They can redeploy if on the board edge and do marker lights other units. So, yeah, so I can, you'll usually see there's a lot of the crossover. If they're doing this in one, they'll do it in the other, like a lot of the
Yeah.
similarities. So, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, so basically drones are now just tokens in 40k, which is what I thought. So they let you do their abilities and then they just disappear. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's move on and have a little bit of a look at the
Got a cooler
Wolves.
team in the box.
I must admit, if we're just purely going off aesthetics, these
Look at that guy,
guys
the
are
pack leader.
right.
Look, sun's out, guns out, dude.
That's
Ready
my
to just
favorite
rip and
part.
tear. Ready to
It's like
steal your girlfriend. Look at those guns, dude.
it's like when you see the world eaters and they've just gone, you know what? I don't need armor. I just need you to see these pipes. Just need you to see the
Yeah.
gun show at all times.
I wish they
But
were all bare armed, honestly, like sort of harkening back to the scout situation. I wish
a
they all
little
had
bit.
bare arms.
I'm actually with you. I think that was when I saw the pack leader, I was like, yes, make all of them like that. I'm with you. I think
Yep.
they got it right there. But interestingly, only armed with what looks like a little power sword, but no pistol. He's got a little holster, but
Oh,
he's
he's
too
got a holster,
busy.
dude. For sure he's got a pistol.
But he's doing a little
Totally.
hold up there, gang. Don't move. Get into
I
cover,
bet
kind
he's
of.
got a like as we see on this team, quite a few looks like they get access to some plasma weapons. So I bet he's got a plasma pistol, dude.
We think they're going to have something to punch up again to help with not having a bunch of, because again, if we look at the pick of them, it was kind of showing off that there's, from what I see here, there's was it 2, 4, 6, 7 options, but it was kind of showing that it was showing 5 operatives and a dog.
Yeah.
So is that, we're thinking that's our team composition there?
I think so. Maybe you can drop the dog. It would be funny if it was like, hey, we gave you a dog, and you're like, actually, you never take the dog. Is the dog is always on the bench? Like, do I want a dog or do I want a plasma gun? Toting Space Marine veteran.
Because Phobos is still, the Phobos team's still 6 operatives, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I was like, could it be you get 6 and the dog? Like the dog a bit like a bomb squig of like you just get it.
Whoa. That would
You
be
know,
crazy.
or like
That would be nuts.
the grot, that you just get the operative. A lot of the times they're more like a bonus. Oh, there you go. Dr. Zero
cool.
saying he reckons it's 6 operatives and a dog. So
I don't think so. I think dog is an operative. I bet it's going to be 6 total, and maybe you either take the dog or drop the dog, or
just
here's
treat it
what
like
I
a
think.
regular operative. Yeah.
Or maybe the dog comes along with the hunter or like the wizard or something like that. Maybe he's like a package deal.
That's kind of how I pictured it. Yeah, like the trap master or the frost eye looks like he'd have a wolf, because he's kind of pointing. He's like, you get out there, doggy.
Oh, go get him. Yeah. The frost eye, awesome. Looks like, so that's kind of like, if you think about this team in the form of like new Phobos, because to me, I look at them and I think, oh, this is, we've had Phobos, but now we have cool Phobos. You know what I mean?
Oh, I lost your mic there. Oh, no, that's my headset. Whoop. It's okay. Apologies.
There you go. Yeah.
My headset dropped out.
Like,
I was
like, we've had Phobos, but now welcome to cool Phobos. And so this looks like your track target style operative. He's got a scope on his thing. The Fang Bear has a Reaver pistol, looks like. So that's going to be a piercing 1 bolt pistol. Like
I've learned the seriousness of a piercing 1 bolt pistol. Do not discount.
Double tapping. Yeah, it goes crazy style, man. He's got a frost knife as well. I wonder what that. I wonder if it's a lethal 5 situation or if there's like some special frost blade rule or whatever. Who knows, dude? But
it has to have something. It can't be just aesthetic. It has to have like an extra rule, doesn't it?
Hope so, dude. Yeah.
And then who else? We've got the gunner, which is obviously a standard play with a plasma gun. But I mean, that's again, if you didn't have that operative, I'd be worried about this team's distance shooting. I said obviously the frost eye's there, but everything else looks pretty pistol range if you didn't have the gunner. So it might be a big call if you're deciding to leave them out if you have to.
Yeah, and something I've literally said is maybe on the podcast, but certainly to the Florida boys, like back when Phobos were struggling last edition, my plan was like always just give them a plasma gunner.
Yeah.
Give them a plasma gun on the team or a plasma pistol or something. Like let the sergeant take a plasma pistol. That way you can punch through. Now, of course, Phobos these days don't need the help, but this is just sort of my ideal Phobos. I think if I had to guess, the Trapmaster, you don't take him very much. That's my guess. The Trapmaster stays home. Just looking at mine operatives, whatever. The Rune Priest, though, oh my god, dude. Go scroll over to the Rune Priest for a second.
Yes. How badass is that?
Dude, just the coolest. Oh man, so sick. I'm so excited for this guy. Hunter as well, badass, plasma pistoling it. Presumably one of these guys is the warrior. Like I
Well,
would
that's it.
imagine
Well,
they,
yeah.
unless they
Is
don't have
there
a
a
warrior
warrior?
operative,
Is there not? Are they all
maybe the
specialists?
dog is maybe the dog is the warrior. You can take
Or you
one
can
guy and
take
5
10
dogs.
dogs. You can take 10 dogs. All warriors.
Yes, like one of these guys presumably is the warrior. Like it's not gonna be the priest or the maybe maybe it's the hunter. Is the hunter like the warrior operative? That would be
Yeah,
nuts.
it's. I,
Maybe there's
I
a
mean,
limit to how many plasma guns you can take. Maybe the
well,
Fang
because,
Bear.
well, that's it. We're
Maybe the
seeing
Fang Bear.
two plasma guns there. And as you said, then if the leader, we can't see what gun he's got. So, and because you leader operatives, usually you get a choice. Like usually in the kit,
Yeah,
it might be like you take a better close combat weapon, but you get a less good pistol or vice versa. So it'd be
yeah.
interesting to see because if he has something, imagine like a Volkite or something, like another Space Marine
Ooh, yeah.
high tech weapon we haven't seen because they're meant to have
That'd be dope.
like special armory and stuff like that. Oh, there you
Yeah, who
go.
knows, dude? So
Now number just in the chat said the article mentions multiple plasma weapons. He bets there's 3 total. So that we see right there that could be
that's
3
pretty
right
cool.
there.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm
If the
guessing
hunter
yeah.
is a warrior operative, 4 plasma pistols in a like rocking, that would be nuts, dude. That would be full on nuts.
Well, yeah, imagine that 4 Reavers with plasma pistols. If you just lean into
Gosh.
that, man, that would do some work.
Honestly though, I hope you don't have to take plasma. I hope you could also opt for bolt pistols just because man, like the new plasma pistols just aren't as good as they used to be. Like old
Yeah.
plasma pistols were crazy. A piercing 2 for, 5.6. Now overcharge 4.5. Honestly, a piercing 1 bolt pistol, sometimes I almost prefer that cuz just double tapping that sometimes is just does better damage output.
The consistency across it,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
hope there's
If this was
options.
last edition and you saw all plasma, you'd be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
Overpowered, yeah.
Now it's still good, but it's not. It's not what it once was. They're
Yeah.
not melter pistols or something crazy like that. So yeah, it's an interesting team composition. I mean, the Trap Master is a bit of a tried and classic. Again from Phobos with like the mine
Yeah.
layers and all that sort of stuff. So I'm assuming does that mean obviously the mine, but are we talking maybe some extra equipment as well potentially, or free access to grenades? I mean, he's wearing a
Yeah.
bandolier full there,
Oh,
um,
yeah, good call. That would be dope.
so maybe
If
he's
there's a
gonna,
grenadier who could take crack grenades and stuff, that'd be awesome.
yeah, like because sometimes that's that thing. There's sometimes you get the mine operative, you go, that's so cool, but if the mine doesn't work well and there's some in the game that are better than others, it makes you go, well, I'm
Yeah.
never taking that operative. I'm like, you got to
Yeah.
give them something to go. Yeah, maybe it's not quite as good, but we want to keep you in the game, so you've got you get access to crack and frag grenades as a
Yeah.
free equipment or something
That
like
would be
that.
sick.
That'd be on board. Big thank you to Primaris Painter in the chat there for subbing. Thank you
Oh
so
my
much.
god.
Subbed for 25 months in a row. I didn't know we were that
What a
old,
hero.
but we are at least 25 months old. So thank you so much, Primaris Painter. So
Yeah, sick
it's
stuff, dude. Just an awesome team comp in my opinion.
one thing I thought was interesting when I was going down looking at the dossier and the other bits and pieces you get. Doesn't seem to be any pack specific terrain. Like a lot of the ones still were
Yeah,
adding
interesting.
bits to the Volcus terrain, or obviously we've just had the Tomb World kit drop. I don't know if I was expecting, but usually you get like some extra bits of cover or a
Yeah.
thematic story piece of terrain. It doesn't appear anyway, from what I can see, that's shown or mentioned. Are we sad about that? Because I'm not.
I'm not said less terrain. I say less terrain. Give us cram terrain in the launch box and give us a
Yeah.
break on the terrain going forward. That's what I say.
Because it's that thing. I found it with obviously ITD and some of the other train sets too. When they did give you those add-on bits, obviously a lot of time they were more narrative, but So for some people, that's fantastic. Obviously, there's a lot of narrative players out there, and not to do it a disservice and say, well, we don't care from a competitive standpoint. But I guess a lot of tournament level and you know, group situations of games playing, it was kind of ignored that they
Yeah,
didn't
hundred
really
percent.
integrate it. So it's like, I'd rather the box set be a little bit cheaper and have a little bit less terrain in it than
Yeah,
worry
dude,
too
make
much.
it cheaper. Everything is getting so expensive. Like, give us
Yeah.
give us a break. You know what I mean?
We had what another price. What was the last price raise was not that long ago. It was literally like 2 months ago, was it?
Well, we just did one. I know because I had to
Mark
enter
everything
in like
up.
a crap ton of price changes here at the shop, so it just went into effect here at least. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Said, yeah, Brother Bear's laughing at us in the chat for saying cheaper. Ha ha ha. So, Six Sided Paradise also wants a giant wolf statue. Sometimes I'm okay with
Oh,
terrain
shout
if
out to
it's
George.
rule of cool. So, g'day, George.
Hey, I gotta shout out George real quick.
Please
George,
do.
Miami George, longtime friend of the show, longtime patron of the show, and also just full on Florida stud. He just started a podcast with Eric and Cam, two other Florida studs. It's called the Faux Bros, and
Love it.
so Phobos play on Phobos situation, and they just had their first podcast I think earlier this week. So check them out if you're looking for a new. If you want more Florida Kill Team in your life, go check it out. There's three studs, man.
If
Three
Ben
of my good buddies.
hasn't crammed it all into you by now,
Yeah. If you're not sick of me, go listen to these guys,
more
and
of this
then you won't be
energy.
sick of us.
No, please definitely go get amongst it. That would be fantastic. Always, I said, it's one of those things. I think the best thing about this hobby, there's room for so much more content. As someone who
Yeah.
ingests a lot of Kill Team content, it's not like we're at peak.
It's
You can
never
ever have
enough.
enough. It's never enough. But there's so much more, so many things to talk about, so many teams to cover. I found that the other, when was it? I was getting ready for a tournament a couple months ago, and I was like, oh, I think I want to try this team. And then I went to like search guides for like that team, and
And
it
there's
was
nothing for 'em,
amazing.
right?
No, there's so many teams that there's not actually that much support for out there. So more
Yeah.
people talking about more Kill Team covering, more factions covering. It can only be a good thing, and especially when it's guns like the old Gorgeous George there getting amongst it as well. So we love it.
Ooh, gorgeous George. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was doing this for another team. I can't remember what team it was actually, but I scoped it out, and there's just nothing for it. I think a lot of I think what we need, what pardon me, what Kill Team needs is more faction deep dives.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to do them this edition because before, like in previous editions, you could talk about list building, and here like, these are obviously the good things, the bad things, but now you kind of have to get in and get your feet dirty, get your feet wet before you can make one of these faction guides because there are things
Yeah.
that just aren't obvious until you hit the table. So like I'm working on a Canoptech Circle guide, hopefully it'll be out next week.
You
And
absolute
just
piece
because
of trash.
to make everybody's local scenes worse, more Canoptech players. Because again, like these teams that are sort of tricky to play, no one wants to touch them because
That's it.
it's not easy or fun. You know what I mean? So yeah, we need more Kill Team content. Make the podcast, do the thing.
Do
And
you think
be our
sometimes
competition.
too,
We'll hate you.
because it's hard, like there's the hype when it like a new team comes out, like obviously the Space Wolves team's coming, we want a guide on it, we want to know firsthand what they do, but then it's like then the shine wears off and we're on to the new team or the new range and we forget that it's like you go to a tournament, there's so many teams you'll see, so many teams you'll play against.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there's also a lot of repeat offenders, but those guides, it can be
Somebody say Russ. Sorry, did somebody say Russ repeat offenders?
massive repeat offender. Could finally get him back because he's not here. But yeah, like it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like it can be hard because if you share an opinion too strongly too on like this is this team, and then someone will be like, "That's not how you play them, you idiot." So there's always that
Yeah.
thing too of be supportive when people do videos, get amongst them.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's something like I'm sort of an interesting case, I feel like, just because I think I'm the outlier, I'll say. I get my Warhammer fix like in a way that most people don't, just because I am very lucky to be surrounded by it. And I'm, thinking about Warhammer basically all day long. And so, like, when previously, when I would get home, I was like, all right, I got to watch these videos. What is it? I really haven't consumed much Kill Team content outside of just a few little, things here and there in a while. And so
Yeah.
when I looked back in the other day to see what was there, it's like, oh man, I feel like we could use more of this. But yeah, like, a lot of people don't get to play, and so they sort of live vicariously through these channels and content in a good way, because like maybe you have a local scene and there's nobody to play with, or you don't, whatever it is, you can sort of get your fix through these videos and these podcasts. And so it's good for people to have, man. It's a net good thing for the kill teaming world.
Yeah. Speaking of things too and content, I've been ingesting a lot of the LVO stream from Squad Games and Dakota, another friend of the
I need
show.
to watch those. I need to watch those.
I actually did send him a message, tip of the cap. They added in the Telestrator. So now when they're commentating the games, they're drawing
That's
live
pretty
on the
baller.
screen to be like, this over here and these guys could go here or this guy's. And
Dang.
it sounds like it wouldn't make that much of a difference, but it did such a
Bet it
great,
does.
it made such a great job of keeping the commentary engaged, but also you as the viewer, because sometimes it can be hard which operatives where or who's what. Like them being able to go, this operative here could go here, and big tip of the cap. Like, yeah, like Brother Bears
Awesome.
just said, like the NFL, exactly right. Like, yeah, drawing out the plays and calling it out.
I'd be so obnoxious if I had that power. I would just be just diabolical if I had that much power.
There's a reason you haven't been invited to the broadcasts for them so far. They're not about that life. They're like, it's a trust thing, Ben, and we just don't trust you.
Just don't- yeah.
Now, the other thing, obviously, in watching that, speaking of LVO, obviously one of the big tournaments going around in the Kill Team, my favorite thing is always to have a bit of a look at the results and the sort of the top 10, because I love seeing what teams are making the cut, and what, is there any commonalities between the two. Congrats to Kenny Roller Crit. He took it out first place with Canoptic. Ben, you would be very proud.
Old Johnny Crit himself.
And I said, and there was also third place, so two Canoptics in the top 10, which is good.
Jason
It wasn't
Stanky.
yes,
I only hear lovely things about Mr. Jason.
there you go. It
He's a
wasn't
very nice
excessive,
fellow.
which is nice. It wasn't like it went Canoptic, Hyrotech, which was nice. But they still seem to have a lot of play at that high end, especially for sure if you know what you're doing with them.
Yeah, it's sort of an odd, like, look at the top 10 or top 12 here. It's kind of a strange spread. Like, yeah, you got, and first, I'll just read down the line. You got Canoptech, a friend of the show, Joshua the Kid. By the way, just want to remind everybody that the whole kid thing came from me. That was me. Joshua the Kid Kelly. I'm glad it stuck. With Raveners, you got Jason Steinke on Canoptech Circle. Zeke on Wreck Crew. Wreck Crew 4th place.
Wrecker's 4th is huge. I love it.
And we got Z the Freak Kelly. I don't know what was Freak, but I like to think that this is another this is a child. I like to think, by the way, Zeke is such a sweetheart. I like to think that because I gave Jeff Kid moniker, and that's what inspired the whole Zeke the Freak thing. So I'm just gonna take partial credit for that. Running Death Watch, which is pretty sick. I did watch her cool.
I mean, Death Watch coming in at 5th. That's the first Death Watch, and I reckon there would have been I mean, I don't know for sure, but I reckon there would have been a huge amount of Death Watch because they're a very popular team at the moment. So them only finishing 5th at the highest point. Interesting.
Yeah, I think they're difficult as well. Then you got Ben Oles on Hyrotech at 6th. You've got James Robinson, Southern Discomfort. It's a fun name. Chaos Cult. 8. You got Liam on Death Watch. Then you've got Matthew running Wreck Crew. Another Wreck Crew.
2 Wreckers top 10.
What the hell is happening here? It's crazy. We've got Goremongers, Pathfinders. Oh, shout out to Janice, another friend of the show. I just like reading names. I just like reading these names and thinking of my friends.
How many players was there? We'll do them all.
Yeah, let's write them down. Yeah, and then in 32 seconds we've got James Dwight. We've got Tony Lebowitz. Anyways, yeah. So pretty. I would say kind of a eccentric top 12, I would say.
Yeah.
Battleclade, Pathfinders, double Rekka Crew. What is happening? I mean, Rekka Crew, you normally, something interesting about Rekka Crew is that we all know they're not very good. We all know that.
Mm,
But there's always one in the top 8 at every tournament. And it's just because they have this uncanny ability to be like, "Pshaw, you take 30 damage and you take
that's
30
it.
damage." And like, as long as you roll good, Rekkas can be spicy. So they always just have that ability to sort of Yahtzee themselves up there. But 2 is crazy. How many players was LVO this year? Do we know?
I didn't see. No, I haven't seen the total
I
player
will pull it
numbers,
up
but
here.
I'm assuming
A
80,
bunch. Oh, it's
90.
hard to see. Looks like they had some drops here, so it's kind of hard to tell.
That's all right.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So pretty crazy, dude. Pretty crazy.
I said
Eccentric for
I
sure.
do love to see that though. Like the team as well. Obviously, the kid coming in second place with the Raveners. Raveners are really sort of nearly like people are starting to revisit them. It was kind of like they had a bit of a moment in the sun.
Slow burn.
New exciting stuff came, and people have kind of gone back and gone, wait. I think these guys are better than we like gave them credit for because
Yeah.
I,
They're
I
kind
I
of
played
sick.
them recently and they do some work, man. Even though you know on paper like they've got a tunnel and I just got to do avoid this. It's like they still play really, really well into a lot of teams.
Yeah, and they just if you can be patient with them, they can be
Yes.
very, very, very punishing.
We,
Yeah,
we were sort of touched on that last week. It definitely seems this edition now, in a really positive way, you know, the game in a lot of ways was rotating a lot around alpha strike stuff, early turns, getting amongst it. But now I love that the game really does play out, and there's more and more teams that are big turning point 3, 4 teams now. You know, like you are
yeah,
encouraged the way the tac ops work, the way the scoring works to not. Yes, you will still go aggro to a certain degree in Turning Point 2, but it's a controlled aggression. Like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're playing a different game. Honestly, is what it feels like to me. um, Between especially with these new changes, attack ops and approved ops and all these things, feels like we are playing a different game. And I know a lot of people are not happy about it.
okay.
Um, but yeah, like a lot of people have shared your sentiments on the initiative stuff, but like we're playing a different game and like better or worse, like we are stuck with it for better or worse for a year. And so I think it does take a kind of a you know somewhat decent adjustment. Like it is culture
Yeah.
shock a little bit, but we're playing a different game.
Well, I've got another tournament coming up this coming weekend, not this week, sorry, the one after, KTSO up in Sydney, organised by friends of the show, GTR and Bands.
Oh, nice.
Those legends over there have organised that. I think Brother Bear in the chat, he's going to be there.
Oh,
Another really, really
BB.
another big tournament. And I said it's that same thing for myself. I played the one recently, and this is probably the most closest I've had 2 tournaments together. So it is good to get those consistent reps because I learned a lot in that last one. So looking forward to seeing if I can take and apply some of the things, learning about the new
Yeah,
tac ops, that new initiative system, adding in Tomb World as a game style. There's a lot, to add into the game. And I definitely felt a different pacing to the game than what I felt previously. That's for sure.
yeah. I see. Speaking of Brother Bear, he mentioned that my audio is cutting in and out. Chat is my
It's
is my audio better now? Chat,
You had a
let
bit
us
of a
know.
robot session during when you were reading out the results, but we just ran it out.
You just bulldog through it.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Another team, actually, I think that's interesting. We were talking to Russ about it in our green room the other day, aka Discord. And someone's just mentioned in chat too. The Battle Clade is a team that is interesting. I still think they've got a lot of play, but I reckon a lot of Battle Clade players have gone to the Canoptics, and I wonder if they'll have a
Mm.
Ravenous kind of full circle moment where that'll be the it for a while. Then they'll get hit on the head with a nerf stick, and then we'll see a lot more Battle Clade like in 6 months' time or 3 months' time again.
Interesting. So I was actually just chatting with George. His name is not Florida George. His name is Oust on the servers George Armour. But he's a sick player, and he was sort of chatting to me about Battleclade a little bit. And so like we're seeing like maybe this is the beginning of a resurgence. Is this copium? I can't tell. Um, but you look at them and it feels like they have some pretty sick tools. They're just, I feel like they're not, the things they do aren't obvious, and
Yeah.
people don't catch on to those things. And so I think some high level players could do some work with Battleclade. Maybe also they probably have some heat with the new TAC ops, the new approved ops.
Yes,
They
might
probably
change
have
things
some
up a
ways to
little bit.
you probably have some ways to play the mission in interesting ways. So yeah. Jim Criven says, "I love AdMech. Battleclade makes me sad." And I think to me, Battleclade is the coolest AdMech team Kill Team's ever seen, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I did want to quickly shout out as well. Speaking of Good Times Rolled and the GTR team, they do have and other content creators. They do have a YouTube channel as well, Good Times Rolled. Make sure you go check out that. They've been rolling out the last few weeks a new podcast as well.
Ooh, exciting.
And yours truly is on episode 3, talking about
Ooh.
getting started with your first kill team. And getting started. And that's usually the side of Kill Team I'm best talking about, is when you're not very good and you're getting started. That's where my level of expertise is. When you want high-end golden ticket, you go to Ben. When you want playing Vespers, you go to Russ. And when you want to learn about being not very good but hoping you get better, you come to this guy. Okay?
Yeah, I need to check it out. I'm excited. I'm excited.
But yeah, definitely worth a listen. Go, chuck them a sub as well, because obviously they do a lot in the Kill Team community over here in Australia. But a lot of the guests on the podcast are international. We had one from Spain, one from France. So it's a very international cast of guests, and some big names in the community. So definitely make sure you head over and check that one out if you have the time.
Oh, I gotta take a moment to interact with the chat again. Cartoon Lime says, got a game against Battleclade on stream at LVO, and they were wild to play against. Super dynamic team. Cartoon Lime, what is your human identity? Do you mind sharing it in the chat? Do you mind unmasking yourself here? But yeah, it's cool, man. That's cool.
I think if this is
cool.
Cartoon Line, because I was watching the LVO stream this morning, because hilariously I made the daylight savings mistake where I was like, ready for the show, Ben? And you're like, it's still an hour away. And I was like, oh, daylight savings and time zones. So I was watching some of the LVO stream, and there was the game I'm watching currently on my screen is Battleclade versus the Jaegers. So it could be. Oh, yes, there you go.
Oh, it's Aiden.
Aiden.
Oh, hold on. Is this... Hold on. The Jaegers, are they a super sick converted Jaeger team?
Yes, it's the Fire Slayers one. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Then me and Cartoon Lime have chatted. There we go. That's where I recognize the name from Instagram. Yeah. Check out if you guys want to see some pretty cool conversions. You should follow Cartoon Lime on Instagram. Some sick conversions on there. But his Jaegers are all Fire Slayer conversions. They're dope as hell.
It's sick. So interesting results. One thing we'd sort of see now too, obviously, we've kind of had the missing link filled in, having this team announced. We now kind of know, I guess, the roadmap, because we know the next box as well, because this was the one that was missing in between. We had the last reveal.
Yeah.
There was a mystery one, and then obviously we now know the Sisters and the Night Lord jump pack troops in the future. What's next after that? Like, I know it's silly because that second, like, this one hasn't been announced. There's another. What do we reckon? I'm starting to get a little bit worried. I would have thought by now, I would have put money on it, that we would have had some Catachans by now, and I'm a little bit shocked that we haven't.
This is where I'm going. I think the starter set for the next edition, it's got to be Catachan, right? Like, it's printing money. Guard is going to need a new team. Like,
that's true.
There's elite guard, in the Tempestus Aquilons. Do you say Aquilons or Aquilons? How do you say that?
I think I say Aquilons.
Aquilons. Yeah, I never know how to say it. Nobody does. But we need a boots on the ground type of guard team.
Yeah.
And it's got to be Catachan, right? It's got to be them. They need a range refresh. Krieg have gotten a lot of love. The Catachans are not holding up. Yeah, I my money is on those. I would love a demon team of some sort.
Yes.
That would be just so sick. But yeah, I think Catachans. What do you reckon, brother?
It's one of those ones, because the thing that got me thinking about that was exactly that. I was like, because I played in a 40k tournament. I won't talk too much about that heresy, but on the weekend I was using, a part of my team was my Kriegsman, and I was like, those models have now been a kill team for a very, 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 very long time. And obviously one of the teams that will be going into the sunset. So it's like, yeah, we kind of, and because and I guess the big part of that also was horde teams. You know, what are the other horde teams could we
They're gone.
potentially
They don't
come up?
exist anymore.
That's
Every box this right. So what are the box sets for this current season? We started off with what? Oh, Death Watch and Canoptech,
yes, Death
right?
Watch
Death Watch,
Canoptic.
Canoptech.
And
Two slightly elite teams, I would say. Like one is elite, one is kind of elite.
yeah, Canoptic it feels
Then,
elite, especially in terms of gameplay because the Warriors don't
yeah,
count. So it's really only what 6 operative team or
the
something like
five
that, isn't it?
operative team, yeah,
Five
five of them
operative
kill
team.
out, yeah.
Yep.
And then yes, and there were so basically all elites. This season is just the elite season.
Yeah.
Our
Had the
horde's going to come
Raveners.
back. I'll say like
Yep.
I love an elite to mid-sized team. Like 8 operatives is kind of the sweet spot for me. But man, I feel like hordes need some love. As much as they have always been the bane of my existence, they need some love.
Because if we look at the top finishers there,
double kill. If there's not hordes bouncing around, I can't double kill Death Watch. I need models to double kill, dude.
well, especially it said that if the new box comes out, if that stealth team really is 5 operatives with some drones, if the Space Wolves is 5 operatives with a doggo, that's the 5 operative thing is starting to become more and more prevalent. Like the LVO results, you got Canoptics, Raveners, Canoptics, Wreckers, who are a pseudo elite team, the way they play. Deathwatch, what else? Hyrotech, pseudo, I would say elite again because of their shenanigans, or at least borderline. Colts was good. Colts is horde, but it kind of turns into elites as the game goes on. Deathwatch, Wreckers, and then Goremongers are probably, again, they're more in the mid. I would say they're not elites. They're mid-size. Yeah, there you go. Dr. Zero has said we're going to get the next Primarch revealed as a one-man kill team. It's possible. It's possible. Just Gilliman.
Who's the next Primarch, by the way? Are there rumors on who that is?
Oh,
what was the Legion of the Damn thing? Was that a hoax or was that real?
I think a lot of people believed it was a hoax, but I think a lot of people are saying I think it's either Russ or the Khan. I think are the two front runners.
Oh, bring the Khan back, dude. Lehman Russ can stay dead. F that guy forever.
Keep your stinky wolf scouts. We don't need you.
Yeah, Space Wolves to me, big lame. They're big lame to me. I love the White Scars though.
What would you consider actually? Speaking of, if you do find the Space Wolves, because they're not for everyone. I agree. Their aesthetic can be a bit on the nose. Sometimes it can be a bit too. If you're not into the Viking thing or the wolf wet fur thing,
the furry thing. Yeah.
Kit bash conversions. Any ideas for either of these kits? Could be you got an idea for the stealth suits as well.
So my idea for, and I'm a little upset because I thought of it and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna blow people's minds. And then I saw somebody talking about it in a Facebook group and I was like, God dang it! But because I was thinking all the plasma pistols going around, I was like, okay, if I could do a chaos conversion, I feel like World Eaters, because World Eaters they're famous for having plasma pistols on their infantry, like that's sort of a World Eaters thing.
Khan the Betrayer always carries his.
Yeah, so a World Eaters team with a Flesh Hound as the dog, I feel like would be pretty sick. So that's my current conversion idea, but
they definitely have their arms out too. They'd have full bare biceps.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like it would be a really good conversion, but like transparently, like being sort of suffering from success, as it were, with the if Games Workshop is very generous with giving us boxes to talk about. I get these new models, want to get these painted up, and so conversions. I haven't had much time for conversions lately between family stuff and painting up these new boxes, because I feel like we just got Canoptech Circle, and now they are telling us, hey, this is, we don't know when it's coming, but like, hey, here's this new team. It's like, dang, it's hard to keep up, man. At least for me.
No, I agree. It's because it's like you go, oh, a team doesn't take that long to paint, but you're like, well, mate, yes, they do. Like if you put a bit of it, they do. And life,
if you have a life, or if you're just not I'm a slow painter. I have a life and I'm a slow painter, so like I've cursed twice.
I've got that thing too, where because I always get excited and I jump ship between teams, that therefore, like I wish I could have the mentality for people who pick a team and love it and just get good at it and play it and I am jealous of people that do that. I see a lot of people at tournaments and they're like, they become masters of that team. You know, they're
Yeah.
like, I've got 100 games under my belt with this team. I know them inside and out. And therefore, because I've done that, the models have had a lot of love. I've either converted or they're immaculately painted because I'm not
Yeah.
flitting around from teams to team.
Yeah, I that was me for a long time with I only played Legionaries for a long time. And I've sort of started to branch out. And in a weird way, I was like sort of I can't say I was afraid, but I was like just like nervous about like gosh, like like, can I play anything that's not an elite team? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
well,
so
no,
like,
it is because I've gone the opposite way. I've been playing Deathwatch, and that's
yeah,
crazy. I went from horde teams to super elite, and it's been a
yeah.
brain melter.
I think what I have noticed is that if you want to get better at the game, I think you should start. Here's my best sort of plan for success. Pick a team and play it for a little while, and once you feel like you got a handle on that team, go play a bunch of different teams.
Yeah,
And like I've been bouncing between Felgor and Hyrotech and now Canoptech and Gormonger. It's like just jumping all over the place has given me so much more perspective on the game that I didn't have. It's like I was a fan of Hyrotech last edition, but I jumped on this edition intentionally to be like, okay, this is a not an easy team to sort of pilot, even though they're incredibly strong. If you don't
yeah,
do the right things, you're sort of it's hard. So like playing these and then now Canoptech, like playing these teams that are so very different from charge double kill, charge double kill, charge double kill has given me such a better perspective on the game that I feel like I'm just a better player of this game that we all like to talk about.
well, a lot of the skill level too is exactly not just knowing your team, but to be really good at the game, you've got to know what's out there. You know, you've got to know
That's so
your
true.
opponent's teams as well. And that's for myself. A lot of time I go to a tournament, and it's a lot so often I'm like, I've never seen this team before. I haven't played because you play in your own little ecosystem of friends or people that are nearby. So you don't get looks at a lot of different teams. So yeah, if you can start to that you run the different teams, so even then when they do pop up, you're like, oh yep, I've at least given them a bit of a go so
Yeah.
I understand the rough lay of the land with them. The funniest thing I found with running Deathwatch was I was like 5 models. My games are gonna go so fast because I'm like it's
Yeah.
5 models. I'm used to moving 12 jabronis around. But all of a sudden, what I found was because each model mattered so much, I
Yeah.
just had like analysis paralysis with them because I'm like, oh, if I move him, oh, geez, no, but I can't risk that he'll die because
Yeah.
then that's a fifth of my team. Like, I missed having throwaway units.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's addicting. I've said this for a long time, but like even when elites were at their, the height of their power, I still stand by it. The best ability you can have in Kill Team is the last activation. Being able
Mm.
to out activate your opponent, if you're a good player, is the even if you're not a good player, if you're starting out, if you're noob,
Oh, it
being
just
able to out
helps.
activate
Yeah.
your opponent is just the biggest advantage you could ever have. And a
Yeah.
horde team's like, cool, I moved my 6 worthless idiots. Now you're done. Okay, here comes everybody that matters now, and I have like it's just the best ability in the game.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I think the funniest thing is that um like yeah, like the that dynamic and that push and pull between the number of operatives because also those teams that are happily like I guess the elf teams, goremongers we talked about too that are in that weird spot that some games they'll get counteracts and others they won't. Like
Yeah,
being in that
yeah.
like little like even that's an interesting little ecosystem in the middle there as well. Yeah, I said it's. I think that's what's strong about the game right now. There's whichever type of team you play, it gives you a unique experience, which is one of my favorite things about Kill Team at the moment. They everything, not just the team rules, but the way the team compositions is really really fun.
Yeah, I think, people might have some complaints with the new approved ops and stuff like that. But one thing that I think universally everybody can agree on is that the thematic side of Kill Team, they've just got so right. Like they've
Yeah,
smashed it. Like every team that comes out now is just so incredibly thematic with their equipment and their abilities and their sort of faction gimmick. Like they're just nailing it right on the head. Like it's really cool to see and cool to play.
Actually, this was what I popped up while watching a bit of the LVO stream, and obviously now we've had a little while with the new crit ops. Is there any like last packet was plant beacons was everyone's favorite to use and abuse?
Mhm.
Are we starting to see any in this new set now that are kind of this is the
The
easiest
go-to.
one, or this is the go-to? Do you reckon? Have we had enough games to start going? That's coming up a lot now.
Yeah. So in my opinion, pardon me, nothing is as easy to abuse
Yeah.
as that one. Like in my Canoptech games, my default is retrieval, but like sometimes into elites, envoy is a real option. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
so I feel like nothing is as easy to abuse, which is a good thing. You know, it's
Yeah.
a sign of good internal balance. But I think retrieval is getting a lot of play. Retrieval is like a brain dead 4 points for a lot of teams. Um, but nothing. I feel like nothing is like a free 6 points anymore, which is
Yes. Yeah.
good. Like it's good.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, because it's one of those things. Obviously, the
Dr. Zero Hour says plant banner easy. Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes not. Sometimes, and that's a good thing. Like I feel like the answer for a lot of these tac ops is now, yeah, sometimes, rather than yeah, every game. Like yeah, all the time. Now the answer is yeah, sometimes to like basically almost all of them.
I feel like you go into a tournament now, whereas previously you might have been like, I'm just running this one. Maybe very occasionally I need a second option. Whereas now I do feel you kind of do need to go in with at least two strong options, which is,
Yeah,
I know it might not sound like a huge change, but it is because it's like hordes, I'm going this, elites, I'm going this. Even that is a better change as opposed to regardless of opponent, I'm just doing this
yeah,
one.
yep, yeah. I think dominate is great for some teams and awful for
Yeah.
others. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
think Death Watch dominate is a pretty safe bet.
I like the risk reward of
Whereas
dominate that you kind of have to telegraph it a little bit. Like your opponent
yeah,
knows that there's points with this operative and it
yeah.
paints that target. I kind of dig that dynamic.
Yeah, if you go dominate, I think then you cosplay Raveners, and then you just turn three. You don't lose anybody until turn three, and then turn three you go to absolute murder town and you kill everything. And it's like boom, hey, four guys on the table have tokens. You can't kill all of them. You know what I mean? Like
Cash
you can
in the
kill some of us.
tokens.
Yeah, so you can kill some of us, but you can't kill all of us here, dude.
Oh man, I love it. Awesome. All right. Well, look, that's probably a good spot for today. I think we're optimistic about what's coming up in the future. We know we've
So
got some
excited.
cool little bit of like an insight into what our roadmap looks like, which I really really like as well. I said I can't wait to get my hands grubby mitts into these new Space Wolves and stealth teams and see what they bring to the table. I just want to see some rules. That's the bit that always gets me. I'm like, models are sick, but the big part as well is I'm like,
Me
what
too.
do they
Yeah,
do? I want to know what they do. It's killing me.
yeah, same.
A huge thank you, as always, to everyone in the chat. Jim Crimmins, Dr. Zero, Cartoon Lime, Primaris Painter, a lot of our favorite friends of the show. Ben's probably going to sing a song here, play you out. Six-Sided Paradise. It's that should be how we do it now. We just serenade people on the way out. I love it. Thank you as well if you are on the podcast, lending us your ear holes. We love having you there. Thank you as always to Ben from Battle Brothers Tabletop. It's not
Thank you
coming
very
through as
much.
well as it should.
I do a little bit of shred for you. I do some old school blues.
It's not the mic must know it's the guitar because it's not picking it
Just
up.
like wah.
It's just like the occasional like bing bong bing.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, just so you know, just close your eyes and imagine a blues master shredding the guitar. Picture Curtis Lowe just
It was
picking and
like
grinning
those
like you've
shred
never seen
videos.
before.
That's what it reminded me of.
Anyways, thank you. That's been me. You're welcome. Good night. Good night. Good night, Kill Team. Pass it over to Reese from Threes to Wound.
Thank you very much. And last few things, make sure, go check out the Faux Bros podcast. Make sure you go check out the Good Times Rolled podcast. Some great other content out there. Really, really great to see other people getting amongst it. And if you're at PAX this weekend down here in Australia, in Melbourne, I'll be there over the weekend. So if you do see me, feel free to come say
Give him a punch.
g'day. Yeah, it's just gentle. Obviously, I'm very delicate, like a flower. No, come say good day. I'll be doing a few different bits and pieces around there across the 3 days. So come say good day. And that's all we got until next week. We'll try dig Russ up from the dark depths of London town for next week, and hopefully we'll have some
Yep.
rules to talk about for.
Stuck in the old London dungeon he is. Shout out Misfits.
Love it. Awesome. All right. Until next time, 07's in the chat. We'll see ya.
Godspeed.